Really, if you get Holy Mark, Stable Mark, Mark, Boost, and Supreme Mark, you're already at a extremely overpowered build compared to the difficulty of the game. By the time you get up to the rest of the 5 red tactics, you just hit this point, basically. Hello everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to be doing a max difficulty run as Hibiki. They updated Hibiki to give him quite a few more additional hidden effects. Most of them aren't that impactful in my opinion, but there is a new hidden tech with one of them that we'll be using today. We're going to start out with Summon Ice Spike, Freezing Blade, Holy Mark, and Stable Mark, and then we're running Light Tactic Chance, in Mind Crystals. The other stuff's mostly just for survivability. The Legacy skill level is to make Ragna's passive, or Ragna's Legacy skill give us more damage, and then the rest is just for refreshing and survival and extra MP. So despite them giving Hibiki a lot of new stuff this patch, there's also some downsides to Hibiki this patch. Last patch, you were able to have your Orbiting Glaives active during your SP skill, which gave him a lot of bonus damage and made his SP skill recharge even while you were using it, and they completely removed that for some reason, which I don't understand why they're nerfing him. You could say it was a little bit cheap that he could go into SP skill with full invulnerability and get his full SP skill back in that time before it ends, but we're well past the point of permanent invulnerability being an issue in this game. We have too many characters with permanent invulnerability already. One of them just got released, Naoto. Anyways, early on we're looking for... If you can get Oblivion Glaive will orbit you early on, in any run, it doesn't matter what build you're going for as Hibiki, it will be extremely helpful. I don't know why they don't just update his base skill to where it has this effect already, because his base skill is complete garbage without this. The glaives only hit twice, once when they come out and once when they come back at the end. It's really bad. It's even worse than, like, Kokonoe's base skill is probably one of the worst ones in the game, but Hibiki's is even worse than that. Unupgraded, that is. Kokonoe's base skill gets much better with upgrades. Same with Hibiki's. And now... One roll is good to take as well. Hibiki, you can't be quite as picky with refreshes early on as other characters. Hibiki has one of the most potentials in the entire game, so it's harder to refresh and get exactly what you want right away. Here, instead of taking a potential, I'm actually going to pick up the purple tactic, because we need to get a lot of tactics quickly, and Mark Resonance is one we want to pick up as soon as possible. So that was perfect luck there. And then I'm even going to skip the advanced battle and get the other light space here too. It sounds weird, but tactics are much, much stronger this patch than they were last patch, due to being able to get 2 tier 2 tactics. And then this specific build we're running is also disgustingly overpowered. You guys will find out just how overpowered it is as we get farther into the run. Especially if we're able to get Covenant or Black Market extra damage as well. So I don't really want Random Mark, I'm gonna reroll. Mark Boost is fine to take, and then with the next light space, I'll probably just reroll for the red tactic, though I am gonna have to burn a lot of rerolls here. Oh, this is annoying. Actually, we can pull him down with the SP skill, nice. And just with the Holy Marks upgraded alone, our damage is extremely high. So now I'm gonna hard re-roll, maybe... Veteran's Instinct getting it this early is pretty nice, so I'm gonna go ahead and take it. If I was playing not for commentary, I would probably just burn all my rerolls here, and then if I don't get tactic damage or opening gambit, then I would just restart the run. If I was trying to speedrun, at least. I've been messing around with speedruns, not with Hibiki in specific, but with other characters like Lambda and Noelle. And I had a run that could potentially have been 8 minutes, but I didn't quite have the DPS to skip Izanami's phase before she did the meteors. So that run ended up being over 8 minutes. But this new mode is extremely broken, if you know how to break it, like I do. Kind of worried we won't get another light space at this point. It's not a huge deal if we don't. We still have a lot of damage just from holy marks, but if we can get the red tactic before the boss, we can probably just instant kill the boss almost. Toxin? Ew. It always sucks when you have light chance or whatever tactic chance and you're just not seeing it. You're seeing other shit like Toxin instead. But I think we'll be fine regardless. Another potential is nice here too, because it'll let me try and re-roll at least into some of the new tech that I want to show off for this video. Oh, did I accidentally... The only bad thing about dashing around so quickly like that is it's very easy to go into spikes without realizing it. Hibiki, I feel like, is also hard to see at times because his rotating glaives take up a lot of the screen. We can take the ice spikes upgrade here, and then we'll just keep looking for more. Either I would take light spheres if they were on skill slot, but I can't take them on legacy slot with this build. I can't go something like skill rend with it either. Ooh, we're getting really unlucky here. This is at the point where it's not worth it, but it's sunk cost fallacy now. There we go, we did get Ice Spike Mark at least. And we have the potential that I needed to set something up, so... Not a great use of refreshes, but it's fine. That's just kind of how the RNG goes sometimes. So we picked up his up plus dash input, which is dual wing double smash, I think? It has kind of a weird name. Where is it? Oh, I just didn't go down far enough. Yeah, it's called Dual Wing Double Smash. So this was tech that already existed in the game before. Almost put him immediately at half health, by the way. But yeah, this was tech that already existed, but we're going to be building off this tech in a way that is much stronger, because with Dual Wing, you always had to wait for the cooldown. But anyways, the tech is certain potentials and tactics have like hidden Easter eggs and bonus effects. They were going to do a potentials X tactics update at one point, where there would be like hidden effects between your potentials and tactics, which got scrapped. So I think these are some of the leftover ones that got scrapped. We're gonna need this upgrade as well for a hidden effect, so we're just gonna pick it up now. We won't be using the actual potential itself, but we need it for the hidden effect. Anyways, the hidden mechanic is that if you watch when I do Dual Wing Double Smash, you'll see that each of the clones created have their own ice spikes. This applies to any summoner tactic you put on them, so you can do a lot of interesting builds with this. But what I'm running is Ice Spike Mark, where Ice Spikes apply Holy Marks and detonate their damage, and then I'm running Stable Mark and Mark Boost. Stable mark makes it where when I'm attacking things, the marks don't break instantly in a single hit. So when something like the orbiting glaives is hitting them, it's doing a lot of DPS. And perfect, here we're going to get the double tactic damage. You can get this, you can get damage from tactics from Black Market, which seems to be the most consistent way. Rerolling Vanguard buffs has a lot more options in the pool, I think. It's much harder to get the tactic damage from there than it is from the Black Market. So if you want to make things more consistent, you can try not to reroll the Vanguard buffs and just save rerolls for the Black Market. The only issue with Black Market is that it's random when you get it. You could get it at stage 1 like I did here and I got lucky, or you could get it at stage 3 when you're almost done with the run. So the last thing we need to pick up is... I might just go ahead and pick up more upgrades for Dual Wing, because we'll be using it anyways. Like I said before, Hibiki has a lot of potentials in his total pool, so it's not as worth rerolling compared to other characters. It's kind of unfortunate this isn't easier to set up, like, potential-wise. Otherwise, Hibiki would be in contention for one of the speedrun characters. But as of now, you pretty much have to... In order to be competitive in the speedrun, I think, you have to be able to, like, function as a character with, like, 2 potentials. 2 to 4, somewhere around there. And then... you need to go a lot of tactic spaces now, even over potentials, because this tactic build is just that broken. And I don't even think this is the only one that is really broken. If you get tactic damage from either source, a lot of tactic builds can carry you. I think Endless Lace, I'm not sure which one it is, but I've noticed at some point the hidden effect we get gets powered up by either Endless Lace or Dual Wing, so I'll just pick up Endless Lace as well. And then we can take another Vanguard, see if we get the tactic buff from it. You can get either the tactic buff, I think it's called Power of Many, but you just look for the one that says increased tactic damage. Or you can get one called Opening Gambit, which increases final damage by 50% for like 15 seconds, I think it is, at the start of every room. That one, anything that says final damage will affect tactic damage. So we didn't get lucky here. I guess we'll just go with Initial Charge. Hibiki likes having extra mana regen, and not being able to take fast kill MP recovery hurts him a lot. Normally, at least, if you don't have a tactic build that's just doing all the work for you. Because before you could just start the run with fast kill MP recovery, and you could have permanent uptime on glaives, but now it's a lot harder to do that. Picking up Flash Enhancement is pretty important for this build too, so pay attention to that when it comes along. I think I might... Instead of taking the light here, I'm going to take the double fire, and I'm just going to sell them back. Get some extra money for the next exchange space. I almost just dashed into the spikes again. Yeah, I think we go light here. Tortichos seemed like they got some buffs compared to before. There's a couple of... Actually, I don't know if that was there. It was the same before or not, but there's a couple of NP plus 40 spaces and HP plus 40. I can't remember if those were there or not. but now there's like 2 of them that you can get. Oh, we haven't even gotten to the point of where we're gonna get a red effect soon that will make this build like twice as broken. If you can imagine it not being at full power already, we're one-shotting everything. I don't actually know if this does anything. It's hard to test. And they don't really give you any information on if ascending it does anything. So we'll just go with... Ice Spike damage is fine, I guess. It's not the best thing, but we'll take it. And then for Light Wave, we want to specifically not take flexible charging. It gives less damage than the other two, and Light Wave damage is going to come into play when the build gets further along. Okay, so that's perfect. We got both the upgrades there. We will take Triple Dash here, and then we're still missing... Oh, we don't have any refreshes left. I could have taken the MP there, which I probably should have, but it's fine. We're still missing a potential for the new tech, but like I said, I don't want to waste too many refreshes early on, especially. And it's not like we're like in dire need of it. Not quite as fast of a kill as it could have been, but still fast. Probably if I just SP skilled there, it might have killed him after the Orbiting Glaives ran out. Well, our dual wing is maxed out, so I definitely have what I need for the hidden effect. Okay, so let's see. We got Black Market at first stage, so I don't need to save refreshes here. I can just look for tactic damage again, or... Here we go, Arsenal of Many. Tactic damage increases based on number and quality of tactics. The other one is Opening Gambit, where you get 50% final damage. Either one of those two will make your runs really broken. Opening Gambit is really good, too, if you want to do a no tactic run. Because I'm assuming when it says final damage, it's calculated after damage increases, which most things aren't in this game. So when you see something that says like 50% final damage, it's a lot higher damage modifier than it would be from like, compared to like the Mind Crystal that gives you 40% extra damage. That's calculated before other damage increases, so it doesn't actually do much. Now we're going to pick up Supreme Mark, which... Light Wave triggering the Holy Marks doesn't really make much of a difference, but the important thing is that Supreme Mark is 110% damage bonus all the time. It doesn't just mean when they're triggered by Light Waves. Holy Marks just deal double damage, basically, is what you can consider this red tactic. I wasn't sure about events last time I did this, and I think events are a lot better now when you have the upgraded version of them from the new extreme difficulty, because you can get stuff like these, the Mind Unleashed buffs. In this case, I didn't get anything good. If I'm below 30%, I'm probably, like, dead anyways, so I'll just take the extra safety. That one would be good on Ragna, though, probably. I'm not sure quite how low you get when you're using skill often. It's probably still above 30%, but you could make use of it in other ways. If you're going one-shot build with Light Wave, for example, you can easily drop yourself below 30% and then just have that huge final damage bonus. And being low won't really matter because you one-shot anyways. Do we go light, or do we try Vanguard again? I think we still have plenty of time to finish out the light build, so we can try fishing for another Vanguard. Oops, I dashed the wrong way, but it didn't really matter. So yeah, you can see that now, when the clones of Dual Wing expire, they charge at enemies. I think that's probably the one that makes the hidden effect also charge, which it'll make more sense once I actually get the hidden effect. I was hoping to have it a lot earlier in the run, but it's kind of hard to go for it when there's other stuff that I have to spend refreshes onto. Nope, so no tactic damage. Oh wait, we got tactic damage already. We're just missing the opening gambit, which isn't as important, but it does help. I guess we'll pick up Phantom Dance for another final damaging, or another final damage source. And we're gonna get another guaranteed shop at the space right before the boss, which is stage 8, so we don't need to take the shop right now. Okay, that'll finish off Light Wave's upgrades, and then we should be able to get another couple of red effects pretty quickly once we pick up the Light Spears. Because if I remember right, you need maxed out Flash and maxed out Light Spears for the other two red tactics we're getting. Oh boy, do we really go heavy on low HP? I think we'll just go for the purple tactic. Okay, we did get Mark Flash, but I'm going to save it and pick up Light Spear instead. We can get Mark Flash from, like, a light space easy enough. And since the Light Spears are purple there, I want to pick them up. Light Spear rarity and upgrades, as well as Light Wave rarity and upgrades, is going to make a lot of difference in this build. So here we can pick up Light Spear Light Wave upon hitting an enemy. Light Spears activate Light Wave. We'll go back into why that matters more later on. Now, I don't necessarily have to take an exchange here. I can. In this case, I think it's worth going for double exchange points. I'll have 2 exchange spaces at Alpha Sector, so having bonus money doesn't really hurt me. If I was on a run where I wasn't, like, so high rolled already, I would probably take the exchange space, but here it's not a problem. Did I just not have MP there? I probably came into the room without MP. Oh, we didn't even have the damage upgrade for Oblivion Glaives. It doesn't matter, though. Okay, finally we found Shadow Heal. So this is the one of the new hidden effects that they added. Blink will leave a clone at the starting point. To get this, you need to have Dual Wing Double Slash unlocked, you need the middle upgrade for directional plus action key, and then you need Shadow Heal, and you'll get this. So the thing that's really broken about this is that every single one of these that I do will have their own summon tactics. In this case, they're triggering the Ice Spike marks. So if we weren't already broken before, we're extremely broken now. Alright, so now before we go in and one-shot Reki, we'll go over the actual build. So Ice Spike mark is what we went for first. That's more of a Hibiki-specific thing. If you're not running Hibiki, I would recommend going for Supreme Mark first. You want Stable Mark always, and then Supreme Mark with Stable Mark becomes very broken. And then on top of that, with the new double Tier 2 system, you can run Mark Boost, so you're getting another 40% damage, or even more if this is gold. But anyways, though, the way that this works is that Ice Spikes can apply Holy Marks and detonate them, dealing bonus damage. This basically just gives extra damage to Ice Spikes. And then, when a flash appears, fire a Light Spear at it, dealing extra damage. And then, I think this might even be new. I don't remember the second part. Light Spear, when Light Spear hits a blinded enemy, it deals extra damage. The way we're getting a bunch of Light Spears from this is we're getting flashes out of Mark Flash. Enemies inflicted with a Holy Mark have a chance to trigger Flash when they attack or take a hit. And then, every time a Light Spear spawns, it triggers a Light Wave. The reason why having specific upgrades for these four is because the damage from Light Wave is calculated from the damage of the Light Spear. So if we go Light Spear Root and Light Spear Upgrade, we get the most damage out of Light Spears, as opposed to getting the Holy Light Spears, which deal their own separate damage. And then Light Wave, you just want to skip Flexible Charging. That gives the least damage out of the three upgrades. Really, if you get Holy Mark, Stable Mark, Mark, Boost, and Supreme Mark, you're already at a extremely overpowered build compared to the difficulty of the game. By the time you get up to the rest of the 5 red tactics, you just hit this point, basically. And remember, we don't actually have 2 of the 3 damage modifiers that we could have running on this. This build could be, like, 3 times stronger than it is right now. Actually, I think we have 2 of them. I'll have to look. I think we got 2 out of 3. So we have Peak of Perfection, which is giving 250% tactic damage, and then we do have Arsenal of Mini, which is giving 124% extra. The Vanguard one is less important than the Black Market if you're going to 5 red tactics, but both of them working together, or even just the 120% extra on its own, will probably be more than enough for this difficulty. And now we basically just do our victory lap through this final area and Izanami. If you're running this build on Hibiki, getting the Orbiting Glaives and Whirlwind Dash are very, very important as well. Honestly, they might even be more important than getting the Shadow Heal. The Shadow Heal thing is cool and fun, but it's a little gimmicky. Whereas having the Orbiting Orbs, or the Orbiting Glaives and the Whirlwind Dash, just multi-hitting so heavily, is where a lot of the damage of this build comes from. Those multi-hitting Stable Mark in particular is where a lot of damage comes from. And then the other major source of damage is the Light Spears triggering Light Wave. I think here, instead of... If I was making a character for fun, I would go the potentials, but since we're going for, like, speedrun, I'm going to go MP here, because I need to be able to keep the orbs up. I say as I accidentally spend SP there, or MP. I should check here as well how much MP I get back if I stay airborne with the Glaives active. It does have a 1-second cooldown, so I don't know how effective it'll be, but it'll probably be pretty effective, I would assume. It's really not giving as much back as I thought it would. Oh, he's already dead. I wasn't looking at the HP, I was looking at my MP bar. There's an easy win. By the way, I don't think I mentioned it yet, but we're also running Ragna's Second Legacy with this build. You could run Bullet's Second Legacy. I think it's her second. You want the heat up one. We're running that because even though the game doesn't tell you, I wish they would go and update old tooltips and stuff instead of just having the new ones say final damage and the old ones don't. But anyways, Bullet's heat up legacy effect and Ragna's second legacy effect both affect tactic damage and get calculated after other damage modifiers. So that's why we're running... If we wanted to go like full crazy mode, we could run Bullet and Ragna, which is what I do on the speedrun. But here I went for the safekeeping one, just for the sake of safety. And here, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before, but you can skip basically all of Izanami's attacks by DPS checking her. She did not get to do anything. As soon as you break her shield, she'll go into stun state, regardless of what attack she's trying to do. And I'll be interested... 15 minutes? Really? I guess we had a pretty slow start, especially since I went for Ice Spike Mark instead of what I normally run. But I'm surprised that was 15 minutes. It was a really good run damage-wise. But this game's also weird, too, about... You can lose a lot of time by just taking combat spaces instead of... taking combat spaces instead of special spaces. Like, if I had spammed a bunch of event stages and got my tactics from there, instead of doing the actual light stages, I would save a lot of time. Okay, get out of the way, story stuff. I want to show you guys something before we end out the video. Not that. So if you want to run the broken light build that I used here in a more optimal way, in this case I went the Summon Ice Spikes just because they had specific synergy with Hibiki that I wanted to show off, but normally this is how I would run it: Holy Mark, Stable Mark, Supreme Mark, and Mark Boost. This is going to make it where even if you don't get any tactic damage or final damage from the first Vanguard, with a lot of characters, this can pretty much one-shot the first boss by the time you get there. It is very reliant on multi-hitting characters, so characters like Lambda, Noelle, with their dash attacks, work really well with this. But any character can use it decently well. And the thing that I like about it is you don't have to deal a specific damage type like you do with Frost. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.